Kick this off. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our September Mastermind. Thank you guys all for being here. Appreciate seeing your faces or seeing you guys log in. Um, if you're new to attending these, it's really just an open forum. It is really, not to say it's disorganized, but it's really open for anything anyone wants to talk about, hear about. If you're curious about what others are doing or want to share what you're doing in any aspect of your business, please make sure you know you've got the floor at any time. I try to come up with some general topic questions if it kind of feels like dead air so that we have not that crickets or someone trying to think of something. But having done a lot of the gatherings in person recently, it's been so cool to see affiliate owners just have some time together to ask a question and just hear what someone else is doing, compare notes, and um, just not feel crazy or feel like you're the only one doing it. So I recently just got back from Seattle. We did a little gathering up there. We had about 12 people, and we did a couple of different groups, just chit-chatted about the business, talked about you know, who's using additional sources of revenue outside of group classes, what's working for you, what have you tried, what do you like, what do you don't like. We've talked about the onboarding journey of new members and what that process looks like for everyone because it's a little bit different and it's a cool discussion point to see the differences and how do you feel like retention is benefited from certain things you've tried or not tried. And then we also talked about just all the different things that CrossFit has available, making sure everyone was aware of that. So yeah, it was really cool. Really enjoyed hearing some of the questions asked and, unique. Every part of our region is unique in, this was truly like, in a downtown city kind of environment. So if you're in a little bit more of a suburban area or residential, it might not always apply, but they were talking a lot about turnover of clients and how they almost realized for some of the locations based on where they were at in like financial districts or other kind of um, places where people travel a lot and or move for their jobs, maybe young professionals, things like that. And they don't really establish roots that they were noticing this high turnover and it was no fault of their own. They were putting out a great product and these people were leaving, moving and doing CrossFit at new affiliates in their, wherever they set up after that. But they had to kind of shift their model from what it had been. And to understanding like, okay, I'm going to basically get people for a year and that's good for me. And so that was a really interesting conversation. And it wasn't all the affiliates that were there, but it was cool that the ones who had to sort of shift this idea. And yeah, we talked a bit about that. So, first things that I was kind of thinking of chatting about were just sort of around what have we got coming up right now. We're in the midst of the Service Cup. I don't know if anyone has any of their trainers or if they're participating themselves or if they have any members that are, yeah, you guys Service Cup, nice. Any of their members in any aspect of the Service Cup, or if you guys are doing that. So now through the 22nd, maybe a little bit. Cool.
We
Um,
we put Service Cup in our programming this week.
oh, nice.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we're
Put
on
it
one
in
our
the task.
second workout.
Yeah.
We're doing all four this week.
Awesome. Oh, that'll be great. Yeah, and I feel like there hasn't been much talk of, but the other stuff coming up, I don't know how much they're going to broadcast the pair championships and the service games once those are live, but those will be kind of cool to have eyes on. What about Chad? Does anyone do anything for that or host that at their gym? Yeah, nice. You guys do it 1776. We do that in my garage. You guys do that, Chauncey? Cool. Do you guys do a big like training lead up to that, similar to something like Murph, or is it more of just like, hey, come on in, we're gonna do this on this day if you
Yeah,
want to?
like a little, we add more step ups and stuff like that, weighted step ups into our programming going into that. So yeah, we tried to get everything ready, prepared. It's one of our favorite ones. So we like,
Yeah, it surprises me, kind of like Murph, like how this becomes a favorite so quickly. In
yeah,
my garage gym, it's a big deal, and it's the one time a year that I do the workout with my clients because there's not a ton of coaching they need from me during that hour or so. But yeah, that's cool. Cool to hear that some of you guys are doing that. Did you guys see some of the resources in the toolkit for that?
We're using that through CAP programming. So our members see daily training for Chad, and it only takes about 10 minutes before or after the regular class. So it's nice having that.
Yeah. I'll be a little critical of CrossFit. I felt like last year that rolled out pretty late and without a lot of noise. And so a lot of us missed it. And again, if you're like, I don't need it, I'm doing it on my own. But I really like that that got out a bit sooner, I think, this year, and hopefully is helpful for you guys.
We actually it's really cool. Mayhem's programming right now. There's a lot of like just the strength cycle of squats and front squats, and they add a lot of unilateral work too with like step ups and everything. So we haven't felt the need to like add a lot extra. And then we are tying it to our nonprofit Resolute Life. So it supports people in recovery with mental health, which is perfect for Chad. So we're going to host that on November 8th. And also make it a fundraiser too. So the community is pretty excited about that.
I was wondering if anyone else was doing that either.
Yeah, we're running 3 different heats.
Yeah.
It should be good. We're getting a lot of already interest just with our first little flyer that we sent out. So
That's great. Yeah, I was curious if anyone else was doing either kind of pushing people towards the Step Up Foundation and or using it as an opportunity to fundraise for something more close to home. That's really great. What about the rest of the year? What do you guys have? What else is planned? What kind of fun stuff are you doing that someone else hasn't thought of yet? We've got holidays coming. We've got end of the year. I'm assuming you guys have it all mapped out.
We're doing
We do
our
it.
whoops.
Go ahead.
Our second annual turkey trot at Angel Stadium.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Fun.
and this time we're tying it with Anaheim High School and South Junior High, and raising money. Each racer registrant will be tied to a family that's either at risk, unhoused, or foster student of the family, and they're tasked to raise money for that. In addition to that, Anaheim High School and South Junior High put together like a care package of necessities and small gifts that we will just accompany our monetary donation to.
That's awesome. Are you having some of the students come out and run?
Yeah. So you can either run as an individual, as a pair, or as a flock. So 3 to 5.
That's cute.
It's like it's like Hyrox really. You start running around the stadium, and then you do a set of exercise, and then you can either tag your partner or tag your team, and then they can run. So the family can join in. Yeah, because it's like 1,000, just a little over 1,000 meters around this Angel Stadium.
And you guys are down on the field?
No, it's just going to be around the park. So yeah. So the director of operations is a member of our gym, and he's, carte blanche to just the outside. So he's allowing a space for us to do the fundraiser.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're doing a cool thing for Halloween. We have a local brewery and we rent out the entire space and get food catered and have a trivia night and have everybody dress up. And so there's like teams of like 6 to 10 people with food and like an hour and a half of trivia at the brewery. We did it last year for the first time and it was super fun and successful.
Oh, I love that. That sounds really fun. And they have to dress up, bonus.
Is it CrossFit questions?
I asked trivia people last year if they could put some like CrossFit trivia in it, and they're like, "Oh, just like give us the list of questions." And I was like, "I don't want to do that. Like this is." I'm like, "You guys can Google it too. Like I don't know the answers to these things." So we'll see if they do
Yeah,
this year.
seriously.
Oh, Josh wants me to talk. Hey, so what we're doing, we're gearing up for October, which is in 346 Grit. We raise money for breast cancer. So we're doing burpees for boobs. So all month long, all of our coaches, we got jars out on our coaching station, and members can put $1 into whatever coach they hate the most or love the most, whatever way you want to look at it. And then at the end of the month, we all come together, and then each dollar represents a burpee that we get to do. So we usually raise a couple $1,000 every month or every October. So
Randy earns 1,000 himself. usually. So
It's a solid 3 hours of burpees.
it's
So
wonderful.
everyone just puts money in your jar.
Pretty
Yes,
much,
they
yeah,
do.
pretty much. And that's fine. And I love it because we have a lot, we have
And we
not a
go like
lot.
10 minutes.
We have a handful of members that have fought breast cancer multiple times. And so if they can do that, I can do 1,000 burpees. That's easy. That's no problem. So we love doing that. It's super fun.
That's awesome. I love that way of getting the members to punish or send love toward a coach. It's great. I know you guys have more ideas. What else? You guys doing any kind of holiday end of the year stuff?
We're doing, I mean, we're doing our normal, like we buy out a restaurant for the night. This year we're doing Fox Point Farms in Encinitas, which is like a new bar that's in town that it's like self-sustaining. They like grow their own food, have like a farm, and then we just buy that out for the night. But we're doing a charity, 4x4x48 again. So we run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. And then every leg that's ran donates money to the Heroic Hearts Project, which is for soldiers committing suicide and treatment for that. And then we have a few sponsors that donate for each leg run. So whether they're doing the whole thing or they're just doing some of it, they get to pledge, and then money's donated for each 4 miles that is ran, which is pretty cool. We have Viore as a sponsor, and then we're going to match whatever everybody raises for the donation. But it's pretty fun. We like camp out at the gym, and we have TrueGrit brings in like ice baths, and we have a company that brings in like a sauna. We have it catered, so people have like snacks and like heaters, and they just like nap in the gym throughout the whole day. It's really fun.
I remember seeing posts of that last year at your gym.
Yeah, it was really fun.
That's awesome. I like how a lot of these are connected to like giving back to the community. It's a really cool thing for your community to come together, and it only helps you to have them get tighter, but you end up serving a greater purpose, greater cause.
If you don't mind, I wanted to go back to kind of like what you were talking about with Seattle, like in terms of onboarding. I just wanted to hear some feedback on kind of their. I just signed up with Big Little Gyms and doing some, some basic marketing stuff with them. But I'm not seeing any change. Not bad, but I'm still getting the numbers that I'm getting from last year, which is good.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me pull up what they were talking about. For those of you that just joined later, I mentioned at the start of the call that we just did a gathering in Seattle. We've been doing them throughout. I'm looking to maybe add one more before the end of the year somewhere in our region. And we had a few different discussion points. One of them being it was less retention and more on the side of onboarding new members in hopes that they do stay. So yes, retention, but everyone kind of agreed, get members in the gym more often, be in touch with them more often. There's a really funny discussion in my group about what is the sweet spot for when to text someone and say, I haven't seen you in a while. And they were comparing notes about how like if like if it's before a week, you're like a little too needy. It's like, look, something came up, right? If it's 3 weeks, then they're like, or maybe it was if it's too close to the billing date, then they just cancel. And you basically reminded them to cancel. And there was a great story about a member that had paid, I think for the one owner said a year, and then later his wife was like, no, that member paid for 2 years and never stepped in the door. And then he bumped into him in Costco and you should come back to the gym, we miss you. And then the next day canceled. He's just like, no. So they are all kind of commiserating about that. But they said after it's been 3 weeks, that's usually, I think they're saying the sweet spot. So I don't know if someone has a different perspective on that in terms of just a check-in. Let's see, getting people into a membership sooner. So everyone talked about different processes of call it on-ramp foundations, whatever you may do, introduction sessions. And there were some people in that group, and again, it was a small group, small sample size here, but some were like, you know, we actually don't do the small group onboarding thing. So I know that a lot of people are like, oh my God, you're so wrong. But just kind of food for thought, not because you should change your way, but just hearing that it can be done other ways. And so for some of these gyms, they were getting them in and into a membership right away. And that was helping build them kind of the habit of coming back. Or it was a shorter onboarding. So if someone was doing more like 3 to 4, the other person was kind of saying, you know, for argument's sake, I do 1 to 2 and I try to get them right into regular classes. There's also kind of these hybrid ideas where one was saying how there was definitely an onboarding vibe, but it was concurrent with the class that that person would attend. And this also may be dependent on resources. The person describing this was also a seminar staff member, so not saying that they are far and away above any of what your coaches can handle, but maybe they have some experience with managing different types of groups. So they were managing a brand new person in their own, you know, definitely call it like an on-ramp session, but it was a modified experience of the class workout. So they got to experience the whiteboard. They did a different warm-up. It was very simplified. They were able to be in that warm-up while they were teaching the class their warm-up. And then when they went off, they took that person, brought them over, explained some of the skills that are going to be needed in the class on a one-on-one level, then brought the whole group back together, and that person got to hear it again in the group setting. And so it's sort of this tagging back and forth between teaching the class and teaching the individual, with all the idea being is like, you are already in class, you already did a class. So that was different. And it definitely brought some questions up in the group. But yeah, trying to get people in more days per week. If it's tough to schedule them for those onboarding, it's hard to keep them because they don't have the habit yet of coming in regularly. Trying to make coaches, I've heard this one at a couple gathering, trying to make coaches be the connectors, right? Starting to build a relationship early on. So making sure your coaches are thinking about those things and checking in with members, yes, but building connections. So like one layer deeper. And if they learn more about those new members, they can maybe make connections with existing members. Like, oh yeah, like so-and-so's kid plays soccer too, you know, whatever. And so just trying to empower their coaches to be that. They talked about their outside events calendar, which is kind of what I was stirring up at the start of this call as well. They like to mix around the different types of activities at the gym. And we talked about, you know, how likely are you to see a new member, brand new, like dabble in those things? Maybe not, but it's cool that they're hearing about them. I can think about my personal experience as a new member at a gym where I was stalking the blog and watching all of these people that I wanted to be friends with doing things like, oh, they're going to go do an MMA night and watch, you know, at someone's house. But I could never, like, you know, so it like took a little bit of me seeing it and seeing that it was a regular normal thing before I could actually dip my toe in it. And the first time I hung out was an event at the gym, right? So they talked about how you peppering in things like a barbecue or a hangout at the gym with, you know, we're going to go out and do axe throwing or something outside the gym, but really trying to give that variety for the new members to see. I don't want to keep rambling if you guys have questions or anything. I'm just kind of going through my notes.
We don't have any other, I mean, I don't have a question, but we have our member appreciation week coming on as well that we always do towards the end of the year. It runs right into our anniversary. So we do our member appreciation week the week right before our anniversary of the gym. So that's kind of fun that we have coming up. So we'll do our burpees for boobs and then our member appreciation week and then our holiday party. So
Nice. I like that. I feel like you guys have talked about that member appreciation week before. That's very cool. I'm not sure if that's a regular thing a lot of other gyms do, but I like that idea. What are some of the things you guys do for that?
It's just like we have little things for them each week and we have like drawings every day of whoever has come to that class. We have like a whole table that we put out of just like random stuff that we've kind of collected or bought throughout the year. And so anyone that shows up to the class, they throw their ticket in and we draw, and they get to pick something off of the table or
It's
whatever.
like a giant grab bag.
Yeah, basically.
of
Class
of-
for each day.
Yeah, we do that for every day. Yeah, so it's super fun. And then we just have like whatever we're doing for that day, whether if it's just like protein bars and fruit, we usually do like a day of either Fit Aid or O2 or whoever we're partnering with. We have a local coffee shop that usually brings in and does cold brew and kombucha. So we'll do that. So just stuff like that. And then this year we're doing sunglasses that are branded with the gym on it. So that will be fun. I'm excited to give those out. Those are super cool. We just got them. So that's another thing. We've done keychains that was like our license plates of
Nice.
so that was fun. Just
Awesome.
little things like that.
That's great. Yeah, the group in Seattle was talking about the goal for them was to a lot were agreeing that the goal was to get people up to 3 times a week as soon as possible. They were saying the 30 days, the first 30 days is critical. I know a lot of people talk about that. A lot of mentor groups talk about that. Knowing people's names. Oh, always asking, when are you coming in next? Who does that regularly? Is that just like a normal practice that you and your coaches have? Yeah. A lot of them were saying that it just becomes kind of natural. It's not a forced, like it's just you're just actually curious, like, hey, great job. When am I gonna see you again? Are you coming tomorrow? Like it's just kind of conversational. And you can start to build that in with your coaches if you're not in the room every time. And I know I do that as well. It even just helps wrap my brain around like, okay, how many am I going to be managing in that class? Or, oh, you're going to love Thursday's workout. There's rope climbs. I know you've been working on them. Like, just it's more conversation and making them feel connected and that there's an accountability piece there, right? Definitely they're not committed, but they did say they're going to be there. So let's see. One way that someone said that helps them build retention, and this might have been, we had 2 seminar staff members that are gym owners that were present there, and I forget if one of them said this, but having them get a notebook or open their notes on their phone or something like that and make them write down every single thing that they are doing in their onboarding or in their first sessions. So, whether it's a push-up or learning, a PVC push press or whatever it is, but writing down what it is and maybe what they accomplished. Like if they learned ring rows and they got in a set of 10 or whatever it is. And depending, obviously this can be focused more depending on the level of the athlete, right? So if you've got a little bit more experienced athlete, you're not going to have them note that they did a PVC push press, but you can have them note down that they worked up to this much weight on the push press. And even if you're not necessarily doing a heavy day, they can just see what it was and how that felt. So they're making this list, and every time they come in, this is growing. And because of the way you've got the sessions mapped out, things that are going to start to come back around. And so they, with their own list, are starting to see the improvements. I'm using more weight. I'm doing more repetitions. So it's not exactly logging workouts, which is obviously important, but you're building that habit. But instead, especially for someone that's very deconditioned or new, is you're building this long list of things you can do. That's actually something that I always do with athletes that are injured. They come to me, they're really bummed out. They've got their leg in a brace. I can't this, I can't that. All they're thinking about is the stuff they can't do. And so I'll sometimes even on the whiteboard write all of the things they still can do. And just seeing that, like, oh, wow, I'm going to be pretty busy if I keep coming in and training. I'm like, yeah, you really are. So sometimes they forget that. And I've done that physical writing on a whiteboard for injured athletes a couple of times and watched their whole mentality shift and start to realize like, oh, I can still row. I just put my foot on the thing and okay. So I like that idea of like building someone's confidence with their kind of list of all the things you've learned at CrossFit or you've already practiced. And because as we know, it can be a very intimidating environment with what feels like an endless amount of skills that we need to be proficient in. So that was a cool approach. Some of you may have something like that, or you may have like an onboarding kit that they fill out.
I've trained my coaches. It kind of goes with what you were saying, they have to assign the wins to the newer athletes. It's really easy to celebrate like your veteran member that got a 5-pound PR, or they know when they're like, I just did 10 muscle ups in a row instead of 9. Like our older athletes know when they've improved, but the newer athletes that are still trying to convince themselves to walk in the door need to be assigned their wins by someone else. And I put that on like the coaches a little bit. Like the newer people need to walk away and not be like, I finished last again, or that was really hard. I almost didn't come. I wish I didn't. But a coach walking up and be like, you did all of your air squats today. So great. Or like something little that they wouldn't have recognized as a win, but a coach or somebody identifying a reason for them to be proud for the day will make it easier for them to come back in the next time. And that's kind of like a check off that our coaches do for our people who are newer, is they assign their wins.
Absolutely. I think that's huge. If we want this to be fun, we have to make sure it's clear that they're having success. And sometimes in the midst of how those workouts feel, they can lose track of the fun and not realize they're getting better. A little bit on the heels of what Chauncey was saying, they talked a lot about loyalty gifts. So these were more based on like number of classes, maybe. One person was doing like branded water bottles for 50 classes, then maybe the next tier is 75 or 100, you get a hat. Then if it gets into the hundreds somewhere, I think she was doing branded like weight belts, jump ropes, fancy jump ropes, things like that. And then 1,000 classes, she's got a plaque on the wall and you get your name engraved on that plaque. So it was a kind of a fun little tiered system, and those would always be given out in the class at the front, at the whiteboard in front of everyone, so that it's a really big celebration moment. And obviously you're teasing it for the others to want that thing, and those are only items that are given out for achieving that. I know a lot of people do different things like committed clubs and stuff like that, and there was varying opinions on committed clubs in the group. I wouldn't say anyone was like negative, but they're just kind of saying like, yeah, I've looked into this or that, but it was rather than celebrating a committed club every month like some people do, this was sort of a we're just going to highlight consistency and number of classes attended. So
I just did something like a little bit similar to that, but a little bit unique, I think. We did a summer attendance challenge.
Okay.
And we did it, we said it was 8 weeks, but I didn't do math very well. It was apparently 9 weeks. But yeah, so it just ended yesterday. It ended on Sunday, and so we gave out gifts. We started yesterday, and we're giving them out today too. But we had custom made like coffee or like camping coffee cups, like the big, like kind of like enamel style. We had them made in China and like had them custom branded. We like had inside the bottom of it, so like you can do this coffee and your ATR coach. And we've been giving them out to members in class that were able to successfully do 3 classes a week for all 8 weeks. And I wasn't sure if like people were really into it or not, but then at the end, people were like, I love this cup. Like, this is so cool. There were days where like I had 2 classes in the week and I just really didn't want to do that third one, but like, it really motivated me because we didn't tell them what the prize was. We just said, you're going to get like a prize at the end. So it was like a little bit suspenseful. People were like, around the gym chatting about, I wonder what it is. And people thought it was gonna be a bobblehead of me, but they got something cooler. But yeah, like I didn't know if people were actually motivated to come, but after giving out these mugs, like there was a lot of feedback that people were like, yeah, like it was hard to do it during the summer and like travel and the kids, but like we gave them a little bit of leeway. Like, hey, if you were in, a hotel and you log the workout, post a picture of what you did and like log into Wodify so we can keep track. And people were pretty fired up, and it wasn't that expensive. They're like $4 a mug landed.
yeah. How many people ended up getting them?
200.
Dang, that's great.
199.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like you also need to now make a bobblehead a thing for a future thing. I think they want it. They'll think it's not coming.
Some bobbleheads are expensive. I made one for one of my coaches for free. It was $160.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, okay, never mind. Maybe you just make
I'm sure
and it's like a rotating
one.
in the gym.
Yeah.
One gym owner did.
I mean, that's not all I got it.
With the consistency club, they did you get $12 if you come 3 times a week for a month or something. I don't know if I wrote this right. Basically, he's saying you earn money off, and what his calculation was like, you earned a week off of paying. But I think, I don't know if they give him $12 a week every time you keep the 3 times a week. I don't know. If you're interested in that, I can put you in contact with him. But basically, it was like cash back in your pocket for coming 3 times a week. So that was interesting. No one else did that, the actual handing them money, but that was his way. And I don't know that that's ongoing or if that's just something for someone that was new, that they would incentivize that way. On the topic of gifts, who does like end of the year gifts for their staff or any kind of like thank yous to the team? And like, can we brainstorm some cool ideas? Because most of us are probably out of ideas if you've been doing it for a while. Give someone your best idea for
Some
a coach.
idea last year.
Yeah, we've all done the Yetis. We need some new ideas. What do people got?
Yeah. All these guys have like 5 Yetis. They don't need any more water bottles.
I just did custom JBL speakers, so you can put their name on it and make their put it branded the way you want to. So I just ordered them, but because there was a Labor Day sale or whatever else. But they're pretty cool. It was under under $200 for the speaker, Bluetooth, waterproof, like JBL speaker, and it's custom with their name on it and our logo and stuff. Pretty cool.
That's a good idea. I like
That's
that.
what Adam did last year. Adam.
Nice.
We do custom gifts every year for our coaches too. We've done last year we did Carhartt vests and rain jackets. So like they're kind of like insulated. It's pretty nice. You can go on there and do a custom order and they don't have heavy minimums. So it's pretty cool. We've done the Yetis. We just try and switch it every year, make something kind of cool that the coaches wouldn't go buy on their own, and then it has our logo on it. So.
That's great. What else? Or how do you show your appreciation? Maybe it's different. Maybe you take them out for food, or I don't know. Doesn't always have to be gifts. It's okay.
We're doing 2 food belts, so custom belts. So that's what we're going to do this year.
That's cool. I don't think I couldn't hear you. I know you're off mute, but I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the speaker was. I said you just gave me an idea for this year. Then 2 food belts.
Nice. Someone was asking, do you get a made by 2 food? Yes, right?
Yeah, you can go on their website. They have a custom order there, and you can get them done. I think it's like if you order 10, they're like 50 something. So, and then if you get more than that, I think the price fluctuates there. But yeah, it's for 10. I know that it's like 50 something. So for the custom order.
That's cool. Belts, Yetis, speakers, like it. What else, guys? Do you want to hear more from the Seattle gathering? Do you have more questions for each other? What's helpful for you?
Hey, Katie, where did you guys advertise or say anything about the Seattle thing? Because I never saw anything about it.
So it's on Instagram for the West Coast gathering, and I also put it out in email to a couple, I think it was possibly 2 different emails.
Okay,
To
cool. I just must
pretty
have.
much Seattle gyms. It was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just 30 minutes north of Seattle, so.
Yeah, I can check if you got it, but I think I
I'm
cast
sure I did. Yeah.
it was
I
sort
just-
of a quick thrown together one because I was up there for to move my daughter to college. So CrossFit didn't send me there. I was already there and I was like, this is perfect. So I'm looking to probably do as far as next year. I'm waiting to see the travel schedule um, for my daughter's softball, and I'm probably going to be in Oregon. So I'm looking to do one in Eugene in April based on when I'm going to be there for her. So I know that is going to happen. And then probably trying to do Northern California at the end of this year. But I would love to hear from you guys of what, like, oh, this area always gets missed, or I'd love to be able to host one, or this would be a good time of year for that. I can always help organize it. If I can't physically be there, I can still help reach out and let people know.
Hey, real quick, I ended up affiliating with Hyrox, and thank you, Zia, for getting like convincing us to do that. But their West Coast is really excited for that. And then I had mentioned to them that I kind of wanted to put together a CrossFit meetup, of people who are doing it. I just wanted to gauge from everyone here if they all wanted to rally their people that are doing Hyrox Anaheim to, kind of like do an after party, which would not be an after party since it would be like 5 to 9 p.m. if people are participating on a Sunday race. To
Are you
like get
thinking of doing it
together.
on Sunday?
Yeah, because I was already putting RFPs out to the Marriott, which is next door, to just walk over there, kind of mix and mingle, stuff like that. So
Yeah, that'd be great.
if there were any interest
I can
in that.
gauge interest and maybe send out a little note about it. I know certain gyms had already been pretty vocal about sending some members there or going themselves.
Yeah, I'd love to see a big group together to gather.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we have like 10 teams.
From your gym, Ken. Awesome. Yeah, I think Zia was losing connection, so she hopped off. But I think she has a good amount. Adam, I think you might have some people going. You guys going too, Chinna? Nice.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna compete in it with a buddy, and then we have a bunch of people from our gym that are going.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah,
But
the tricky thing is it's
on
like
Friday, so if you want to party Friday
Tuesday.
night, let me know.
Yeah, it's all different days. Like I'm going down with some members of my gym and we're on Friday. So then we're getting out of there. So we won't be
Oh,
staying.
you're just in and out.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't also know when the best time to do it because everyone's so spread out.
they're all spread
for
out.
racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's still a good idea.
I don't think they even released like the actual start times until like 3 days before.
Yeah, they just have like a general list of like these are going on this day or those are going on that day. But yeah, and I think the window is like potentially 4-hour window when you could be going or something. So that's cool. Yeah, gatherings do not have to be with me. They do not have to be with CrossFit, but I can always be of help. We can always post it on Facebook, on Instagram. We can send out a blast, let everyone know about it. So if that's something that you're interested in kind of heading up, let me know. Zia just said she's lost service, so she can't come back to us. Sorry, everybody. She was the one that wanted the ideas for coaches' gifts. She's like, I need better ideas.
I'll relay the messages. Keep them coming, guys. What do we got?
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's recorded. She can come watch it later. I don't think I ever received a coach's gift on any time I've worked at a gym. So good on you if you guys are giving gifts to your coaches. She asked that. I was like, you guys give gifts? That's amazing.
What's the price range?
Well, I mean, the belts, it sounds like we're in the 200 or the speakers are in the 200.
Cool.
I think it's going to depend on obviously on the gym, but also like, what's your staff size?
Yeah.
If you've got 15 part-time trainers, 200 might feel like a lot. If you've got a smaller group, that's probably just right.
We've been giving out bonuses based on Google reviews.
Oh, nice. Google reviews that speak to a specific person, or you just mean
So
as the
that they get an extra bonus if they're mentioned.
wow. How much?
25 bucks.
That's great.
Yeah. So we're trying to reach we're at 160 and we're trying to reach 200 by the end of the year. And so it makes sense because it just it shows in the traffic,
Yeah.
SEO traffic.
Do you just communicate to the coaches like, hey, talk to the members and try to get them to do a review? And if they mention your name, we'll give you, like, how does that, like, what does your communication look like with your team to get that to happen?
And that's a great question. We do have a lot of drop-ins too. So that's a big part of it. But we also incentivize them. We're starting to do more stuff like how you guys are doing 346 of doing giveaways, and then like a challenge. So if you review us for a month, like within a month's time, you can review us on different channels, favorite us on like Nextdoor and stuff like that. You'll get points, in Google reviews, and then we'll give away stuff. But it incentivizes our members to do reviews because they're worth a lot more to us than drop-ins, because they put in a lot more of the keywords that we would hope that they would, meaning, this is great fundamentals training, great for beginners, stuff like that.
Do you find putting stuff on Nextdoor is beneficial? Like, do you get people from Nextdoor?
I'm trying all channels since they're available. So far, nothing yet. I mean, I even created a Pinterest page. So yeah, just like different ideas, design ideas, shirts, stuff like that.
For the belts, for anybody that's interested, I was just looking it up, and it said that if you in between 10 to 19 belts is $55.99 per belt. So I thought that was pretty reasonable
Yeah,
for getting gifts.
thanks for that. And it took a few weeks, or how long? Did it take a while?
I'm just starting the process, so
You're just
I
starting,
just
yeah.
put it in. So I don't have them yet.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We usually budget around like $100 a coach, maybe like 10 part-time coaches. So
Yeah, so that'll be good.
yeah, one thing we started doing when we first started doing gifts was doing like gym merch that's exclusive for the coaches as a gift. So like a hoodie that nobody else can get. And that sparked interest from the members of like, well, I want that hoodie. So then we would just pick a different color that was pretty, sellable, I guess, for everyone else. And then the coaches still look unique. Or change a logo and put coach on it. And the coaches love it because it just gives them more stuff to wear in the gym. So
That's great.
This is Callie got me this for Christmas last year. This is my custom tupood. So it has like our 1776, the flag. But then you could it only took like 3 weeks. But then you got to put that there so you can customize them like that. And it wasn't that bad.
love that.
You can full blown do a picture, whatever you want. So I would take this as a coach's gift any day, with you can get really detailed with it, personalize it to your gym with it.
It's a great idea. Guys are sharing lots of great ideas. And anyone have any other questions? Things they want input on?
Is anybody going to AffiliateCon?
Mitch, Kelly. Nice.
All right.
You going at him?
I'm gonna make the decision today, but leaning yes.
Good. You should just sign up and go, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, just go.
You get a commission?
And then you can
Don't have
bring
FOMO.
Josh.
You don't want to have FOMO. You do not want to have FOMO.
Yeah.
It's going to be a freaking awesome event.
Okay.
And then you can bring Josh, because Josh, you need best hour in your life.
Big Little Gyms is all I can afford right now, so I just want to kind of learn. I mean, it's pretty much the same stuff.
It is, and Will's great. Will's great. Just the money is worth it. The money is worth it to help build up your business, build up your coaching staff, build up everything with regards to owning a small business. It's fantastic.
I'd like
And
to,
the leads.
yeah. I mean, I'd like to see what I get within a 6-month period. Trial that because we've been growing at a fast rate as well. So I think that next level could be with Best Hour. So it'll be, it'll be worth a try.
The best hour disciples always gang up on people.
I know. I know that.
You train them well.
That's because it works.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's definitely they're only spewing their own experience, and I've heard a lot of people with positive ones. You guys looking forward to the announcements coming soon about the game season? Hopefully that's getting out soon. It's going to be, I think, earliest we've talked about that. I'm not quite sure if they'll have exact dates and specific location for the games itself, but for most affiliate owners, that part is like a detail or something you can plan a little bit later. But I think there's going to be more information about the rest of the season past the open. So be cool to be able to get that on your calendar. Hopefully that'll help you with starting to map out next year's calendar, planning ahead for what you put where.
It was really cool that they let the open dates out super early. That was really awesome. I don't know if it's ever been announced that early, but I don't have a terrible memory when it comes to this kind of stuff, so it might have. I'm super stoked to figure out what they're going to do with the L3 and L4.
Yeah, and that was something else. So Jay DeCoons, who's the VP of affiliates, was actually at the Seattle gathering, and he mentioned he had a little bit of insider info there on the level 4 relaunching as soon as this fall, hopefully. So I know some of us are in fall. I don't know, it's like 93 degrees here today, so I'm still in summer, but I think it's in like a matter of weeks versus months and months that we're hoping to hear about what that's going to look like. And for anyone that are sort of on the close to expiring route, if you're pursuing level 4, if you're a level 3, do I renew? What do I do? Feel free to reach out to me. We can look at your renewal date and we can start communicating now with the education team, with the seminars team. And there are areas that we can kind of push a little bit because they'll know more about the dates. Our team has not yet been filled in on the exact dates of when the level 4 will launch, what it will look like, where it'll be available, things like that. So if you are like, I'm kind of close here, let me know now early and we can start getting you on their radar so that hopefully if you're within, I think probably like a wiggle room of maybe 4 to 6 weeks, they can hold off and you don't have to renew your level 3. You can just wait for that level 4. So that would be great. If anyone is looking into that, let me know. And
Katie, I just signed up with one of my coaches for that new level 2 hybrid that they're going to do here in Seattle because I'm going to be due next year. So I just figured I'd knock it out while it's in Seattle.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear feedback on that. If anyone has taken the hybrid course themselves or if they've sent a member of their team, I'm a little, I can't speak from experience. I have not yet taught the hybrid 1-day course. I've taught the level 2 for years and I love that course. And I love the interaction that you get between coaches getting to watch each other coach and the feedback and the delivering feedback and the receiving of feedback and that whole energy that happens. It's, for some it's can be a pretty nerve-wracking experience. I think cramming it all into 1 day is going to be interesting. But I like that there's the option because a lot of people want to take the level 2 and they just do not have a free weekend, but they could make 1 day happen and then they can self-pace the other stuff. So I would love to hear any feedback you guys have once you've taken it.
For sure. Let you know. Yeah, having it to 1 day will be really helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
Was there any other talk about Castro throwing that grenade about revamping the L3 and L4 and like the thought of switching them, making that
when the practical is first?
Yeah.
Have I heard any like pushback or freak out about that?
No, did Jada Coons talk about that? Speak
He
to
did
that?
not speak to that. I think a big thing about the level 4 and the reason it was being revamped is because it was not a scalable model, meaning there was a very small amount of seminar staff that were qualified, if you could say, to actually deliver that evaluation. And so they were stretched really thin. The demand, which was great, started to go up. More people wanted to take this course. There was not a lot of people passing it. So that was another thing. People are paying a lot of money. They're traveling often, and there are a lot of times you have to travel to get to it because those courses are not everywhere, or the level 4s are not everywhere. And so then with not a high rate of passing, I think it was they needed to rework the whole thing. So I don't know if that switch is a solution. If it is, they have to solve for this scalable factor of getting into facilities to administer this, and also staff members that can, perform the evaluation. So that's what I worry, because there's definitely more people applying for level 3 than level 4, right? So that would be, if they've solved for the scalability, I could see that switch happening. I could personally, I've not taken the level 4 yet, but I've taken the level 3. I could see a lot of reasons why that would be a smart move. But the first obvious one would be like, if we can't handle the level 4 manpower now, how are we going to handle it at a higher rate? So if that's what they're trying to adjust, then that could be pretty cool. Then my question would be, if you already have your level 3 and you want to get level 4, do you just go do another test at the testing facility, or do you have to go back and do the in-person thing to get to the,
I hope we don't have to do another test.
Right, exactly. It's like, it's almost like if that's the case, that some of us that are level 3, do we skip the in-person one and just go to the, that doesn't make sense.
We're like Jason Ackerman, and we just get bumped up to L4 and everything's okay.
Well, so that's how Big Group did that. Like, they essentially went through the gauntlet at the old level 2 back in 07, 08, and then all they had to do was pass the level 3 exam and they became level 4. So anyway, thanks guys. If you got to take off, no problem.
Randy just wants you to tell him that he does not ever have to take the test again because he loves that test so much.
That test is a high pressure situation, but yeah, they have not told us anything about that. So either they're still figuring it out, or which is more likely what it is. So, but yeah, that was something I forgot to mention that Jay said is going to be coming soon. Announcements about that. Very cool. I really appreciate you guys all being on the call. Got a few minutes left if anyone has anything. Otherwise, I'll let you guys go and have a great day. And we'll see you guys next time. October 14th is second Tuesday of October for our next mastermind. Come in hot with some new topics, new gift ideas.